It is my pleasure to welcome you to the crash course Quantitative Research Papers. We're dealing with the fourth section of a quantitative research paper, the method section. And in this part, it is about the scales of measurement. The scales of measurement form the foundation for all what is to come. That is descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. If you now understand the scales of measurement, happy days. Everything else will be quite easy. If you do not understand the scales of measurement, they will come back to haunt you in a nightmarish way. The scales of measurement must be closer to your heart than your beloved partner. Let's get on with this. What are the scales of measurement? You can distinguish between categorical and metric scales of measurement. Categorical, you might say, is everything I can put into boxes or drawers, categories. Metric is everything I can put a number on. Let's go a bit deeper. The categorical scales of measurement are distinguished, or there you distinguish between nominal and ordinal scale of measurement. With the nominal scale of measurement, you can say values are equal or not, but you cannot say more or less. The best example, I think, is gender. We know the gentlemen and ladies are very much different, but we cannot say that a gentleman is more than a lady or a lady is more than a gentleman. We can only say they're different. That is a nominal scale. Ordinal scales of measurement, here we can say more or less. We can of course say equal or not, and we can additionally say more or less. From my point of view, the best example is Olympic ranks. We can clearly say the gold medalist is better than the silver medalist, who is in turn better than the bronze medalist. But it's hard to say how much better the gold medalist is than the silver or the bronze medalist. Think of 100-meter race, sprint Olympic Games. If there's only a tenth of a second between gold and silver, we clearly cannot say that the gold medalist is a certain amount or in a certain ratio, certain times better than the bronze medalist. So ordinal, like in Olympic ranks, we can only say more or less. How much more or less? We can say when we have the metric scale of measurement. So that is on the highest level of scales of measurement. Here you might distinguish between interval and ratio scale of measurement. The only difference between the two is that you have an arbitrary 0 point with the interval scale of measurement. Think of temperature, centigrade and Kelvin. They have a different 0. The ratio scale, you have an absolute 0. Think of height. If my height is 0 inches, I'm not existent. If my income is 0 pounds, I don't have any income. And with income, I hope I can make clear what you can do with a metric scale. If I earn 100 pounds, you earn 200 pounds, you have double my income. So I can see the distance and the ratio between two values. A bit simplifying. Everything that's categorical, you normally use frequencies. Like, think of gender. How many male and female participants were in my sample? Were 60 to 40%, 50 to 50%, that is frequencies. Whenever you have a metric variable in your data set, you normally use the arithmetic mean. Think of age. You would say the participants of my sample have an average age of 33.28 years, for instance. Let me give you a few examples from questionnaires. Nominal scale, I already said gender. So what gender describes you best? Female, male, non-binary is a nominal scale. An ordinal scale might be, please evaluate the following products by bringing them into an order from 1 best to 3 worst. That might be that is an ordinal scale. A metric scale is years. How old are you? 20 years, 30 years, 37 years, 40 years, whatever you put in. Here is important for me to point out that rating scales. In social sciences, in most studies, the vast majority, you would use rating scales of some sort. Here is a simplified example. How satisfied are you with product XY on a scale from 0, completely dissatisfied, to 6 completely satisfied? You would give your answer on such a scale. On the end, points completely dissatisfied, completely satisfied, and then you tick one of the boxes as a participant. Strictly speaking, this is an ordinal scale. However, it can be treated as a metric scale. That is what you normally should do in a survey or in a study in the realm of social sciences. I hope I could make clear what the scales of measurement are. Once again, you need to know them. They form the basis for the next 2 parts, descriptive and inferential statistics. Until we meet again when it is about descriptive statistics, I wish you all the best, and it is bye-bye for now.